Hi everyone, Brett from Visible here with another installment of our 3-Minute Metrics video series where we pull out best practices and tips on tracking the right metrics for your business and distributing those metrics, sharing those metrics in an impactful way with all of your stakeholders so that they can play their role most effectively. So today we are talking about sales metrics and sales dashboards and sales reports. I think eventually we're going to need to change the name of this series to 5-Minute Metrics. We always go a little bit long, but if you do stick around, I promise you're going to get some really good insight into how to take a very data-driven approach to the growth of your sales team. So in this case, we're going to start with the dashboard, and we're looking at a SaaS company, software as a service, probably Series A stage type company. So the main metric that this sales team worries about is kind of a 30,000 foot metric. It's annual recurring revenue. So the value of contracted subscription revenue over a 1-year period. So that's, again, subscription revenue, not necessarily one-time fees or other setup type stuff that might be non-recurring in nature. But this is, again, a high-level metric, a high-level overview. There's a lot of things that build up to this annual recurring revenue number, sort of the scaffolding behind it. And so that's what we are going to dig into and look at today. But as you can see here, overall, this business is performing extremely well, growing annual recurring revenue quite a bit, almost 20% month over month here, and projecting to grow about 15% for the next few months as well. So we're going to start with lead growth here. And I guess before we jump into that, I think it can be useful when we're thinking through this and thinking about how we should be tracking these metrics to understand a SaaS business in general as just a large funnel. So you take a person, a lead, a company who knows nothing about the service you provide. You try to make them aware of your business. You try to educate them on what you do and the value proposition. Then you sell them. Then you keep them around, upsell them, turn them into evangelists. So that's kind of the customer journey that you see a lot of people talking about in the SaaS world. And then underneath that are a bunch of sort of mini funnels. So there's the marketing funnel, there's the customer success funnel, there's the product funnel as far as product usage. And then, of course, there's the sales funnel. And so that's what we're going to look at right here. So lead growth is the very top of that funnel. So you have to start marketing qualified leads, turning into sales qualified leads. There's no kind of prescription for exactly what the conversion rate from marketing qualified lead to sales qualified lead necessarily should be. In this case, it's 16%. That's probably a little bit low. If you look at some of the stuff that Marketo puts out, they have great resources on the topic. You'll see 20 to 30% is typically the norm. The general idea, though, is that you understand, what those conversion rates look like at the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and then down the funnel, and then you kind of benchmark yourself against yourself over time to make sure that you're improving. So one of the ways to look at the growth of the top of your funnel is lead velocity rate. Lead velocity rate is a fantastic metric to track for a sales team and for any SaaS business in general. It's Jason Lemkin, SaaSter, kind of the godfather of SaaS, a great investor, a great mind on the topic. It's his favorite metric. And lead velocity rate is just the percentage of growth month over month in your sales qualified leads. And it's good as far as looking at how you're adding to the top of the funnel, but it's also a great metric to understand what your revenue is going to look like down the line. In a month, in 2 months, kind of getting a feel for where your business will be. Because if you do have an understanding of, what a marketing qualified lead turns into a sales qualified lead, turns into a demo, turns into a proposal, turns into a closed deal, you can kind of project this out and see where you're going to stand. So just to throw some numbers out there, Jason Lemkin says at one of his businesses, they were about 5% as far as turning marketing qualified leads into actual customers. Again, this is something you have to kind of see with your business over time. The next thing is value in the pipeline. So value in the pipeline is kind of what do you expect to close based on the number of prospects that you've been talking to? What do you expect to close within the next sales cycle? So this company here has just under $90,000 in the pipeline. That means that they expect to close $90,000 in new ARR within the next, call it 30 days, which is probably what their sales cycle is. So in this case, good numbers going up. Pipeline velocity rate as well, calculated the same way as lead velocity rate, just just based on the dollar value of pipelines. So if you're able to keep this stable or grow it over time as your business gets bigger and as you start to kind of naturally exhaust the list of prospective customers in your niche, that's great. So here we see the company keeping a stable pipeline velocity rate over time. That's fantastic. Next thing down the line, pretty self-explanatory. Sales reps, demos completed. Demos are a big part of so many kind of enterprise sales. You want to get people on the phone, show them the product, really explain the value proposition. So with this, you just want to see if that number's growing and see if you're being more efficient. Are you, completing more demos with the same number of people or fewer salespeople? That's great. From there, you do a demo, it goes well. You want to send out a proposal. And then once you've sent out that proposal, you want to close the deal. So hopefully the number of proposals are going up, the number of deals closed are going up, and ideally, you're closing a higher percentage of those proposals over time. So this company here, we see, proposal to close percentage doing well. That means that, they really understand what a good demo looks like and, what a really, really good lead looks like or opportunity looks like after they've done the demo. So, going up over time, that's fantastic. And then down here, closing that funnel out, new ARR growing at a really nice rate. Number of deals closed, of course, want to keep that going up over time. And in the bottom left here, average annual recurring revenue per new deal. If you can push that contract value up over time, that's fantastic. You're getting more revenue per customer. You have fewer customers to service. So overall, great work. So now we have all of this data. We have these dashboards. It's good. It does a good job of taking us from what's our most important metric to, like I said, the scaffolding behind it, what builds up to give us that most important metric. The next step is to add context to this. And what I'll do really quick is show you a nice report that I've built based on all of this information, highlighting some of the key metrics. So the numbers that we see here for most of 2015 on a monthly basis. In this case, we have the sales manager putting together an update for his or her team, sales team update, January 2015. And the big thing when you're telling a story about your business, again, you want to add context to the numbers. It's the best way to really tell the story. So here we see sales manager kicks things off. Hey, high level number went up just under 20%. Sales engine's working in general. We're looking at 15% growth for the next 3 months. Let's keep it up. You have the chart here, kind of pulling that all together. Next step down the funnel, sales qualified leads ticking up, and then adding further context to that. So saying, hey, this is becoming a trend. Our pipeline velocity rate is higher than our lead velocity rate, meaning that we're constantly trying to push those contract values up, which is good. It means we're holding ourselves to a higher standard. And again, like I just talked about, trying to kind of get more revenue per customer, which is always a great thing. And then final thing, before you guys get back to hitting the phones, we've done a great job of closing deals with leads who we send proposals to. So, hey, we're at over 70% proposal to close. Our goal is 80%, so let's keep working. Boom, come in here. I can pop that final chart in here to just kind of close the loop, proposal to close percentage, add it in, and then fire this off to, my sales team, fire this off to, my boss, if that's the COO or CEO, whoever it may be. And make sure that, again, everybody that is involved in our sales process, that has a stake in our sales process, knows how we're performing, knows how we kind of back up those numbers that we're coming up with, and knows what we plan to do in the future to, continue building a great sales team that contributes to a great overall business. So thanks a lot for watching 3-minute metrics. Again, I think we went a little long there, but I hope you found some value in it. If you do want to kind of take a look at Visible, see what you can do with it for your sales team, feel free to drop us a line. You can email me directly, brett@visible.vc, and we will see about getting you set up. Thanks again.